Part 68. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 676. Just when Sutingyu couldn't help but run away, someone walked in from outside. Siepwea glanced out of the corner of her eye, her expression suddenly changed, and she walked towards the man very enthusiastically. "Lingju, you are here, have you discovered anything new?" As he spoke, Siepwea hid behind the man, and when the latter was completely confused and couldn't see him, he glanced at Sutingyu. Sutingyu held in his breath forcibly. "Xiaojuejiu is here, long time no see." Sutingyu secretly glared at Siepwea, with a warm and friendly smile on his face. Lingju moved his steps, leaving behind Siepwea, and then began to make some sign language to the two of them. "Long time no see, listen. Yu, the second young master of the Wang family, is going to Yuzhuo Pavilion to retrieve customized women's jewelry this afternoon. You can go to him." Sutingyu and Siepwea knew sign language and knew exactly what Lingju wanted to express. The reason why both of them know sign language is because they learned it for Lingju. It may be said that all members of the Non-Order Research Institute can sign language. And if new members join, there is a rule in the institute that they need to learn sign language. Lingju, male, 25 years old, is not a formal member of the Institute of Order. When Lingju was a child, there was a fire at home, and he choked on the thick smoke. After he was rescued, he had lost his voice. Later, he joined the Institute of Irregularity. He underwent many treatments and solved the problem of his voice loss, but every time as soon as he opened his mouth, it turned into a milky and childlike voice, and it couldn't be changed no matter how hard it was. So, Lingju became autistic and refused to speak anymore, so he learned sign language and carried a writing pad and mobile phone with him. The second young master of the Wang family. Who is he? Sutingyu had just arrived and didn't know much about the clan members. Ahem, I just went too far. I will send you the specific information about the clan members who regretted their marriage. Siepwea took a few steps closer, poked at his phone, and sent the file to Sutingyu. Sutingyu clicked on her phone to check. At present, those who regret their marriages include Zhao family, Li family, and Wang family. Zhao family. The three sons of the Zhao family, Zhao Wenbo, Zhao Wenhua, and Zhao Wengang, are competing for a girl. The outsider they admire is named Yin Ran. The eldest daughter of the Zhao family, Zhao Yijin, the male outsider she admires is named Lei Ji. Li family. The twin sisters of the Li family, Li Nanqing and Li Nanyan, the male outsiders they admire are named Yu Dong and Yu Bei respectively. The eldest son of the Li family, Li Guangji, the female outsider he admires is named Zhang Chun. Wang family. The two sons of the Wang family, Wang Yonghua and Wang Yongbin, two men competed for one woman, and the woman they fell in love with was a foreigner named Tian Man. The news about the second young master of the Wang family that Lingju brought now came from Wang Yongbin. Wang Yongbin is an ignorant and dandy young man. He has been doted on by the elders of the clan since he was a child, because his eldest brother Wang Yonghua is the heir, and he only needs to have fun. Wang Yongbin's original fiancée was Li Nanyan, the younger sister of the twin sisters of the Li family. The two were childhood sweethearts. Although Wang Yongbin was playful, he was very satisfied with his well-matched and beautiful fiancée. Li Nanyan also had the means to capture his fiancée's heart. This marriage was originally a joy for both families. But I don't know since when, the two separated. They each have someone they like, and they all admit that in the past it was just a brother-sister relationship, but Wang Yongbin is still fighting for women with his eldest brother. Lao Sutingyu looked at this information and felt like she was reading an ancient bloody novel. Now, are we looking for Wang Yongbin as a breakthrough? Siepwea nodded, that's right. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 677. Wang Family Property, Yuzhuo Pavilion. Wang Yongbin swaggered into Yuzhuo Pavilion, and within 2 seconds, Staff immediately came to receive the second young master of the Wang family. Second young master, please. The staff invited Wang Yongbin to the exclusive private room with ease, and then prepared drinks and snacks for the dandy young master to taste. In less than a minute, the manager of Yuzhuo Pavilion took the time to come over. The manager knew the reason why Wang Yongbin came, and also asked the staff to present the batch of customized jewelry. Second young master, this is the batch of jewelry you asked for. You can take a look, the manager said. Okay, Wang Yongbin looked at it for a few times and said, wrap it all up. Okay, second young master, the manager suggested. Second young master, do you want us to send it to the palace? This will save you the tired hands. No, the most appropriate gift to give to someone is to give it in person. Wang Yongbin had already begun to imagine that when he gave this gift to Manur, the latter was so moved that he couldn't help grinning. Remember to wrap the package look better. Okay, second young master, the manager waved his hand, and a staff member came over with the packaging box and packed it on site. The manager also heard that the two young masters of the Wang family almost got into a fight over a woman, but that was all the owner's private matter. The manager acted as if he didn't know anything in front of Wang Yongbin. That's all right, second young master. After packaging, the manager personally handed the box to Wang Yongbin. The young master is gone. If you have any good things, remember to let me know. Definitely, definitely, second young master, walk slowly. After leaving Yuzhuo Pavilion, Wang Yongbin couldn't wait to go home and give gifts to his sweetheart. Nearby underground parking. Wang Yongbin opened the passenger door and had just put the gift box on the driver's seat. He was about to close the door and go around to the main driver's door when he was suddenly patted on the back. Wang Yongbin turned around subconsciously, and what greeted him was an infinitely enlarged fist. Boom! One punch. Wang Yongbin was knocked unconscious. Wang Yongbin's limp body was caught by Ling Ju in time, and then he was stuffed into the back seat of the car. Ling Ju picked up the car keys that fell on the ground and turned to look in one direction. Not far away, another car was parked. Su Tingyu and Siepuyu appeared from the car. Seeing that Ling Ju had done the job, Siepuyu made a gesture and nodded. Then, two cars drove out of the parking lot, one behind the other. After bringing Wang Yongbin to the B/U0026B, Ling Ju woke up Wang Yongbin. When Wang Yongbin woke up, he found that he didn't know where he was, and there were three strangers looking at him in front of him. He suddenly realized something bad. Who are you? I'm telling you. Don't mess around. I am the second young master of the Wang family. Looking at this reaction, Wang Yongbin seemed to regard Su Tingyu and the others as kidnappers. Siepuyu pulled a stool over and sat down. He stared at Wang Yongbin. Second young master Wang, please calm down. We just have something to ask for your cooperation. What's the matter? Wang Yongbin looked suspicious. You know Tian Man, right? Siepuyu continued. How much do you know about her? You are here for Manur. You are also here to compete with me for Manur. Impossible. Manur is mine. Wang Yongbin's expression suddenly became excited, and the depths of his eyes were dark. There was a faint flash of pink light. And this weird pink light was captured by Su Tingyu and the others. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 678. Su Tingyu and the other three looked at each other. I saw it in his eyes. You read everything right, right? A person may be delusional. But if all three people saw it, it wasn't a coincidence or an illusion. Seeing that Wang Yongbin was showing signs of dementia, Siepuyu gave up using normal methods. He stood up and said to Su Tingyu, we'll go out first and leave the rest to you. Yes, Su Tingyu nodded. This was a utility room. Xiepu and Ling Ju went out one after another and closed the door. When Wang Yongbin saw that Sutingyu was the only one left, he suddenly started to get angry. He got up from the ground and bumped towards Sutingyu. Unexpectedly, he was avoided by Sutingyu's light sideways movement. Without wasting any more time, Sutingyu started singing for hypnosis. As soon as he sang a short paragraph of lyrics, the rioting Wang Yongbin seemed to be deflated all of a sudden. He stood blankly on the spot, his eyes broken. The first professional talent of Pure Heart Singer, Soul Resting Shadow. In the inventory, the mermaid conch was glowing. Sutingyu first used his first professional talent to hypnotize the person. Name: Wang Yongbin. Identity: the second young master of the Wang family. After asking a few basic questions, the hypnotized Wang Yongbin closed his eyes and answered fluently. Sutingyu got down to the topic: do you know Tian Man? How did you meet him? But when asked about the word Tian Man, Wang Yongbin's calm expression showed a little struggle. Sutingyu recalled all the unusual things about Wang Yongbin and continued to use his second career talent. Pure Heart Singer's second professional talent, purification by the sounds of nature. If Sutingyu expected it to be true, the key to the second profession's talent lies in the word purification. As for how specific it can be purified. With the activation of his second professional talent, Wang Yongbin gradually regained his composure, and the aura around him became peaceful. Sutingyu asked again, do you know Tian Man? How did you know him? Wang Yongbin answered this time, I know you. We met in a bar. I was having a good time when Tian Man fell in front of me for no reason. I can meet 10 or 8 women like this in a month. I could see her calculations at a glance, and she didn't even look at her looks, and she wanted to seduce this young master. Sutingyu felt something was wrong. Listening to the underlying meaning of Wang Yongbin's words, it seems that he doesn't like Tian Man, or even disdains him. Then why did he compete with his eldest brother for Tian Man later? Sutingyu, do you like Tian Man? Wang Yongbin, what a joke, how ugly that woman is, she can't even compare to one of my Xiao Yan's fingers. Sutingyu, then do you still remember the time when you almost fell out with your elder brother because of Tian Man? At this time, Wang Yongbin did not answer decisively, and his expression fell into confusion and entanglement. Damn it, how could this young master compete with the eldest brother for a woman? It's just a woman. If the eldest brother likes it, it doesn't matter if she gives it to the eldest brother. After asking this question, Sutingyu vaguely had an answer, so she didn't ask any more questions. She wanted to wait until Wang Yongbin woke up before asking. So, Sutingyu opened the door and signaled Xiepu and Ling Ju, who were waiting outside, to come in. How is it? Xiepu asked. Sure enough, there is a problem, and it may be the supernatural. Sutingyu expressed his judgment. As a member of the non-order, Sutingyu is no stranger to the word supernatural. Sutingyu quickly thought of Wang Yongbin's abnormality. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Ke. Chapter 679. Sutingyu told Xiepu and Ling Ju one by one about Wang Yongbin's reactions after hypnosis, and they both pondered for a few seconds. Xiepu said, indeed, it is possible. Ling Ju said in sign language, if it is a person with supernatural abilities, it is normal that the identity cannot be found. Perhaps they all belong to a mysterious organization, like the Institute of Non-Order, B. The Non-Order Research Institute recruits people with supernatural abilities like Sutingyu. However, the world is so big and there are national boundaries. There are many people with supernatural abilities who hide their identities or join organizations from other countries. The Non-Order Research Institute cannot. Maybe one family is the only one. When people with supernatural abilities from different organizations or different intentions meet, it becomes awkward and weird. Sutingyu nodded, since it is possible that he is a person with supernatural abilities, The purpose of appearing here is probably not only as simple as falling in love, but also specifically selected from the 5 major clans. Could it be possible that the 6 outsiders are all supernatural beings? Siepuya quickly thought of this possibility, her face slightly condensed. If there are 6 supernatural beings with unknown identities and unknown intentions in Kunming, then just with the 3 of us, it's a bit unsafe. The abilities of supernatural beings are all kinds of strange, and sometimes they are difficult to guard against. If you accidentally anger those 6 supernatural beings, the other party is likely to attack innocent ordinary people, causing social disorder. Ling Ju gestured with a serious face. Do you need to shake people? Boss and the others recently went abroad and won't be back for a while. Siepuya had a headache. His own abilities were not directly offensive, and it would be difficult to help when the situation was about to break out. Xiaoyu, Wang Yongbin hasn't woken up yet. Go in and reason first to see if you can find out how Tianman confused Wang Yongbin's mind, Su Tingyu said. Yes. Siepuya turned around and went in, closing the door. Ling Ju reached out and poked Su Tingyu on the shoulder. When the latter looked over, he made a gesture. Listen, do you want to attack that Tianman first? We are 2 against 1, we can definitely subdue her. Su Tingyu touched his chin. It's not impossible, but let's wait for Xiaoyu to arrange it. One of the traditions of the Non-Order Research Institute is that the brain power of the people is handed over to the boss, Siepuyu, the 2 great Yakuza, and the rest are innocent and cute thugs or goons. The division of labor is clear and the result is twice the result with half the effort. Now that the boss is not here, let's listen to Siepuyu's opinion first, and then consider the next move. 10 minutes later. The door opened. Siepuya stretched out her head. Okay, and Wang Yongbin is awake. Hearing this, the 2 walked into the room. At this time, Wang Yongbin had woken up, and when he saw Su Tingyu and the others, they did not yell or panic. Obviously, Siepuya had explained the situation in advance. Thank you 3 benefactors. If you hadn't taken action, I would have continued to be fooled by that, which Wang Yongbin's tone was both grateful and angry. I am grateful to Su Tingyu and the others. And the anger was naturally towards that Tianman. Su Tingyu, you're welcome. Now that you've woken up, what are you going to do? Wang Yongbin gritted his teeth. Of course I'll beat that witch to death. Ah no, I'll arrest her and call 110. This young master, I'll go apologize to Xiao Yan again and make peace with my Xiao Yan. Ahem. Su Tingyu interrupted embarrassedly and looked at Wang Yongbin with pity. Master Bin, I regret to tell you something. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Ke. Chapter 680. Wang Yongbin did not realize the seriousness of the matter at all, and asked stupidly, my benefactor, what else can I do? Ahem, that's it? Su Tingyu tried her best to use a gentle and tactful tone to explain the fact that Wang Yongbin's fiancée also transferred love and fell in love with other men. 5 minutes later. What? The shocked Wang Yongbin let out a roar of surprise and anger. Su Tingyu, the 3 of them all looked at Wang Yongbin with sympathetic eyes. Master Bin, think on the bright side, your fiancée hasn't really been picked up yet, she's just been picked up soon. The kind-hearted Su Tingyu couldn't bear it anymore and immediately comforted Wang Yongbin, but the latter was not comforted at all. I just feel like there is a green grassland above my head, with thousands of horses galloping. Siepuya changed the topic and wanted Wang Yongbin to calm down. According to our investigation, our preliminary judgment is that your fiancé, eldest brother, and others also encountered the same situation as you, that is, they were bewitched. As for the reason for doing this, we just only when we catch Tianman can we find out. Yes. That's right, Wang Yongbin suddenly had a firm expression on his face. Some bastard must have used unfair means to seduce Xiao Yan. Otherwise, how could Xiao Yan, who loves this young master so much, possibly fall in love with someone else? It must be like this. This young master is going to skin that bastard right now. Hey, hey, hey. Mr. Ben, calm down. Are you sure you can deal with someone like Tian Man? Don't run away in a hurry when the time comes, and be bewitched again without telling anyone, and then scare the snake away. Sutingyu stopped him quickly, and said to the point. The furious Wang Yongbin calmed down a little. Wang Yongbin placed his hope on Sutingyu and the others. Benefactor, you must help me, help me. My family is rich. As long as you help me, Xiao Yan, and my elder brother, I will spend any amount of money. Money. Sutingyu said righteously, we are not asking for money. We are just ordinary members of maintaining social order. How can we collect money? Ah, in this case, you benefactors are really good people. Okay, Mr. Ben, we want to find your fiancé. Next, we need your cooperation. Seeing that it was almost done, Siepuyu spoke. Wang Yongbin nodded repeatedly. Okay, okay, my benefactor, as you say, I will definitely do it. We need you to find an excuse to invite your eldest brother Wang Yonghua out. First, rescue your eldest brother, and then deal with Tian Man. Siepuyu informed him of the long-planned plan. Remember, during this period, don't disturb Tian Man, and don't go find your fiancé first. Wang Yongbin showed hesitation, then over Xiao Yan. Siepuyu, don't worry, we will rescue your fiancé after we catch Tian Man. Then, when will I ask my eldest brother out? The faster, the better. After all, one more second of delay will put Mr. Bin's cigarette in danger. For one more second. Wang Yongbin only thought for a few seconds before nodding. Okay. I'll ask the eldest brother out right away. As for the location, Master Bin, it's best to make an appointment somewhere with less people and more privacy. Okay, I get it. Half an hour later. Wang family. Second uncle, how are the new ones doing? Young master. Wang Yonghua held a brief meeting with several clan elders in the study room. After the meeting, the elders left one after another. Young master. At this time, Butler Wang hurried over and whispered something in Wang Yonghua's ear. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 681. Shengui Hotel is owned by the Wang family. Wang Yonghua reached out, opened the door of a private room, and stepped inside. In the private room, Wang Yongbin was sitting on a chair doing nothing. When he saw someone coming, he immediately greeted him with a smile. Brother, sit down, sit down. But the two brothers once had a falling out because of Tian Man. Now, Wang Yonghua naturally won't look down on him. Tell me, what do you want from me? If it's manners matter, I'll still say the same thing. I can't give in even a step. Just give up. Brother Wang Yonghua thought he was preemptive and wanted to directly block Wang Yongbin's next words. But what about Wang Yongbin? Unexpectedly, when Wang Yongbin heard about Tian Man this time, he was not excited at all. Instead, he said mysteriously, Brother, actually, I'm not looking for you this time. If you weren't looking for me, then who was it? Wang Yonghua looked confused. Then, Wang Yongbin silently stretched out his hand and pointed at the door behind Wang Yonghua. Just as Wang Yonghua closed the door, someone pushed it open again. Suddenly, 3 people walked in. Siepuyu politely held her hand in her hand with a smile on her lips. Young Master Wang, it's our first time meeting you. Nice to meet you. Wang Yonghua clapped his big hand, and the tabletop in front of him trembled. What? Your kid is promising? Why are you looking for someone to come? I'm your big brother. Wang Yongbin said sincerely, Brother, I am doing this for your own good. You will know after a while. Benefactor, please excuse me, I'm going out first. Sutingyu waved his paw. Yeah, let's go. Wang Yongbin. Wang Yongbin. Come back. Seeing Wang Yongbin about to slip out of the private room, he was stopped by Ling Ju. Wang Yonghua, who fully realized that something was wrong, began to call Wang Yongbin, trying to stop him for questioning. But Wang Yongbin was reminded in advance and went out without looking back. Young Master Wang, don't worry. Siepuo smiled and narrowed her face, looking like a gentle scum but very graceful. Sutingyu, Xiaojuejiu, lock the door. Ling Ju nodded towards Sutingyu, then walked towards the door, closed the door of the private room, and then stood there like a door god, staring straight at Wang Yonghua with bright eyes. You were called here by Wang Yongbin, and you want to mess with me, right? Sutingyu, young Master Wang, we just want to ask about Tianman. According to the plan, it was necessary to first determine whether Wang Yonghua had been bewitched, so Sutingyu deliberately mentioned Tianman to stimulate Wang Yonghua. On the other side, Siepuo and Ling Ju had silently taken out their earmuffs. As expected. That boy called me here with bad intentions. Tell that boy for me that Tianman can only belong to me. Let him go wherever he can to cool down. Wang Yonghua spoke angrily, and in the end, he even roared like a wild beast. A faint pink light flashed in the depths of his eyes. Sutingyu's eyes narrowed slightly. Sure enough, Wang Yonghua was also plotted. Now that it was confirmed that Wang Yonghua was bewitched and beautiful, Sutingyu stopped wasting her words and started to hypnotize her. 10 minutes later. After Sutingyu finished asking some questions, there was still 10 minutes of hypnosis time left for Puyo to conduct reasoning. Siepuo walked up to Wang Yonghua, who was slumped in the chair, stretched out the index finger of his right hand and pressed it between the latter's eyebrows, while the index finger of his left hand was placed on his temple. Then, Siepuo slowly closed her eyes. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Kei. Chapter 682. By turning back time from everything Wang Yonghua came into contact with, Siepuo once again saw clearly that when Tianman came to Wang's house through Wang Yongbin, he quietly waited for the opportunity. Finally, he had the opportunity to come into contact with Wang Yonghua every day. Everyone needs tea. Then, while there was no one around, he put the tip of the little finger of his right hand into the tea. For a moment, a pink light appeared on the surface of the tea, and then it disappeared without a trace. The pot of tea was delivered to Wang Yonghua, and the unsuspecting Wang Yongbin drank it. The end of returning time. Siepuo opened his eyes and put down his hands. He turned to look at Sutingyu, and the two of them, two deductions have confirmed Tianman's supernatural method. Sutingyu and Ling Ju looked at each other with a bit of relief on their faces. Really, just stick your little finger in. As he said that, Sutingyu also raised his little finger. Yes, Siepuo nodded. Although she was a little surprised by the way this ability was used, Siepuo had seen many abilities of non-order members, so she was not too surprised. Almost 10 minutes passed before Wang Yonghua woke up faintly. Similarly, Siepuo copied the same rhetoric she told Wang Yongbin before and explained the current situation to Wang Yonghua. Wang Yonghua is not as love-minded, impulsive, and irritable as Wang Yongbin, but now that he has woken up and learned that he and his brother were all fooled by a woman of unknown origin, Wang Yongbin, a traditional man, is also very angry, but his appearance is embarrassing. Keep your posture steady. Thank you. 3. I don't know their identities, and Wang Yonghua is the heir carefully cultivated by the Wang family. Although he is extremely disgusted with Tianman's ill intentions, Sutingyu and the others suddenly appeared and helped. Wang Yongbin is also skeptical. Seeing this, Siepuo revealed his apparent identity to Wang Yonghua. We are the commissioners secretly investigating special incidents. This is my ID. Siepuo took out the ID she carried with her. It had a national official red seal on it. Wang Yonghua often dealt with officials when doing business, so he still had a good vision. It soon became clear that this ID was genuine. It turns out that the three commissioners are clumsy. I hope you can forgive me. After learning the identities of Sutingyu and the others, Wang Yonghua's attitude towards the former also changed a lot. Xiepu took back the certificate. Now, it's not just the Wang family that is in trouble, and it's not just Tianman who is up to something. We need the cooperation and support of the Wang family to find out the conspiracy behind Tianman and others. Wang Yonghua nodded. Okay, if there is anything you need from me and the Wang family, the commissioner just let us know. Young Master Wang, you can think carefully about what Tianman's intentions were after he bewitched you two brothers, Sutingyu asked. Intention? Wang Yonghua thought for a moment, and then hesitantly said, that woman seems to want to become my wife as soon as possible. Privately, she also hinted, intentionally or unintentionally, that I would take over the Wang family as soon as possible and become the head of the Wang family. This. Sutingyu blinked her big eyes, sounding like a vain woman who just wanted to be in a position of power. He may have strange means of demagoguing people, so why would Tianman stay in the remote Queensland province and find someone who is the richest man in the country or the world? Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 683. Just wait until you catch Tianman and ask questions slowly. Xiepu winked at Sutingyu, who blinked his big eyes, turned to Wang Yonghua and said, Young Master Wang, is Tianman at the Wang family now? Yes, Wang Yonghua nodded. It's not too late, let's go pay a visit and ask Master Wang to make an introduction. I'm so happy there is a woman at home with unknown intentions and strange methods. Although Wang Yonghua does not show timidity on his face, he is still frightened by the unknown in his heart. After seeing that the matter was settled, Ling Ju opened the door of the private room. Outside, the door opened and Wang Yongbin walked in a few steps. Brother? Are you awake? Wang Yonghua coughed dryly. Finally, you won't do any harm this time. TCH brother, I'm not going to rob Tianman. You really like it? You can take it. Seeing that Wang Yonghua was awake, Wang Yongbin was relieved and dared to make fun of him. Go away. Wang Yonghua's face flashed with annoyance. He, benefactor, are we going to catch that witch Tianman next? Wang Yongbin smiled playfully and looked at Sutingyu and the others with excited eyes. Second, young Master Wang, the food in your hotel should be quite delicious. You can stay and have a meal first, and we will leave first. Seeing Wang Yongbin's stupid look, Sutingyu still smiled in a friendly way and made a sincere suggestion. What do you mean? Wang Yongbin watched as the four people walked out of the private room one by one, leaving himself alone. Even when Wang Yonghua left, he patted Wang Yongbin on the shoulder. Brother Bin, just stay here and don't cause trouble. I will give you the car you asked for last time next week. No, it's not. Wang Yongbin watched the four people leaving, and it took him a while to realize. You just throw it away after use, and you don't want to play with me anymore. At this time, Wang family, inner courtyard. The Wang family mansion retains the brick and tile structure of the old society. Although there are no maids and servants in the old society, servants and security guards are indispensable. In a guest room, Tianman sent away the serving Wang servants and closed the doors and windows. Then, Tianman took out a piece of white paper folded several times from under the pillow and spread it on the bed. There were some lines and squares drawn on it, like a handmade map. Tianman took a pen and marked several places with vermilion crosses. Not only these newly drawn crosses, but also many dried red crosses on the entire map. Tianman looked at the map with the red cross in most of the area and muttered to himself, it's been so long since I've been here, I can't waste any more time. What if someone else gets there first? When I see Wang Yonghua again, I will add some more information and be sure to ask about the whereabouts of the things. Tianman noted down the areas that had not been marked with a red cross, then refolded the map and hid it under his pillow again. At this time, a servant knocked on the door. "Miss Tian, the eldest young master is back. He said he has a surprise for you and asked you to go to the front yard." When Tian Man heard this, he immediately felt that the opportunity had come, and quickly responded loudly, "I know." Tian Man adjusted his clothes and hair in the mirror, and after making sure they were correct, he raised a sweet smile, opened the door, and walked out. "Take me to see the eldest young master." Tian Man slightly raised his slender chin, his tone was a bit arrogant, and he looked at the servant with a look that seemed to have some indescribable sense of superiority. The servant lowered his head and responded respectfully, "Miss Tian, please come this way. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuan-K. Chapter 684. "Miss Tian, the eldest young master said he is waiting for you inside. Just let you go in alone." The servant followed the instructions and took Tian Man to the door of a small single-family house, then turned around and left in a hurry. Tian Man looked around and found no other servants. What kind of surprise is this? Are you sending outsiders away? Because the servant had previously conveyed the word surprise, and although Tian Man was confused about the current mysterious atmosphere, he just thought that Wang Yanghua was playing a mystery to make her happy. "Ha, he is indeed a native." Tian Man complained disdainfully in his heart, and then reached out and pushed open the door in front of him. The next second, a piece of light and beautiful female music came from inside the door. "Is there music to complement it?" Tian Man's slender eyebrows raised slightly. Tian Man couldn't help but feel a little more curious. "Surprise, what is it?" When Tian Man stepped into the door, he saw a large speaker placed on each side of the hall, playing the same song sung by a girl in a loop. But there was no one in the hall. "Huh? What's going on?" Tian Man frowned and looked around. The speakers were still playing songs in a loop. It was a song Tian Man had never heard before. The more he listened to it, the more he felt, his mind started to feel a little drowsy. What's going on?" Tian Man shook her head, but her body fell uncontrollably to the nearest sofa. She subconsciously grabbed the edge of the sofa with both hands. Not good. Tian Man finally realized that something was wrong, and a strong sense of crisis arose in her heart. However, her mind became increasingly dizzy. Her right hand was raised with difficulty, as if to grab something, and finally, it was lowered feebly. Her whole body was completely exhausted, falling down on the carpeted floor. After waiting for another 15 minutes to confirm that Tian Man could not wake up, upstairs, Sutingyu and others, who were wearing earmuffs, used the remote control to turn off the speakers before walking downstairs. Does this subdue Tian Man? Wang Yanghua, who had taken off his earmuffs, looked at Sutingyu and the others in surprise when he saw the scene in front of him. However, at this time, Sutingyu and the others had no intention of caring about him. "Sutingyu, Xiaojuejiu, tie the person up and search him again." Ling Ju pursed her lips and walked toward the unconscious Tian Man with a bundle of hemp rope in her hand. "Young Master Wang, we have to carry out interrogation work now. As for this process, it is not convenient to disclose it, so." Xiepui's words were all about this, but Wang Yanghua didn't understand what he meant. "Okay, then I will not disturb the 3 commissioners. If you find out what kind of intentions this person has towards my Wang family, please be sure to inform me. It should." After sending Wang Yanghua away, Ling Ju was also tied up and thrown on the sofa, and then went to guard the door. Looking at the unconscious Tian Man, Xiepui had a sudden thought, "Dead fish, in this case, do you still want to wake her up and sing her to hypnosis yourself?" Sutingyu blinked his big eyes. "Let me try first to see if this can hypnotize me. If not, I'll do as you say. Anyway, she wakes up, Ah no, she is very experienced in waking people up. Sutingyu sat opposite Tianman and began to use her professional talents. The first professional talent of Pure Heart Singer, Soul Resting Shadow. In the inventory, the mermaid conch glows normally. Sutingyu's face was filled with joy. Okay. This professional is talented and sensible. This saves trouble. Siepweo pointed at Tianman, then asked quickly. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 685. Sutingyu stared at Tianman. Who are you, what is your identity, and what is your purpose in coming to the Wang family? Tianman gradually frowned and began to look a little uneasy. Seeing this, Sutingyu looked at Siepweo and pointed at his ears. Siepweo understood immediately and put the earmuffs around her neck back on. After Siepweo put on the earmuffs, Sutingyu used her professional talent to sing a short piece of music a cappella to calm Tianman's restless mood. Tianman spoke slowly, my name is Tianman, I am, a player, from another world. As soon as Tianman said a few words, Sutingyu and the two were stunned on the spot. Player. Is it what she/he imagined? Sutingyu quickly asked, what player? Are you a player from Parallel Paradise? Tianman paused, then changed his words, yes. Holy shit. Sutingyu couldn't help but greet him, what's your game nickname? So graceful and charming. After hearing the game nickname, Siepweo immediately opened the panel and searched for the game nickname. Sorry, this game nickname is not found, please choose to re-enter. Can't find it. Siepweo and Sutingyu looked at each other, then looked at the panel. This time, he directly inquired about the cause of this situation. Sorry, your current level permissions cannot be queried. Level, there is also a level here. Is it the level of the player? Siepweo looked at Sutingyu, if you ask more specifically, she just said that she came from another world, maybe she is a player from another world, and now, perhaps due to some restrictions, the information of players from other worlds cannot be found. Siepweo's hands were trembling slightly. Alien player? So isn't this Tianman what the public calls, an alien? Shock. It turns out this is an alien. The unsolved mystery of the aliens among netizens is revealed. What do aliens look like? Are you completing a dungeon mission now? What type of dungeon is it? When Sutingyu asked, he couldn't help but recall the dungeons he had experienced. Couldn't they all be in the real world? The teachers and students in Liming Mountain, the thousands of citizens in Beiwa City, the slaves in the underground Colosseum, could it be that they are all in the real world? Tianman, I'm doing a career copy. Sutingyu's face softened slightly, professional dungeon? How do you feel about the NPCs in the dungeon? Tianman said calmly, they are all a group of indigenous people, maybe just a bunch of data. How can you feel? It seems that Tianman still doesn't know that the professional copy she experienced is actually a real world. Or, Sutingyu couldn't help but think about it carefully, what if? Do the characters in the games they usually play know that they are just a series of game programs? If you swear that your world is a real world, then it really means, couldn't it be a game world specially created by someone? Dead fish, why are you in a daze? Siepweo's voice brought Sutingyu back from his wandering thoughts. Not in a daze. Sutingyu was full of things to talk to Siepweo, but the most important thing now was to question Tianman and get more information. Then what is your dungeon mission? What is your intention to approach the Wang family? The Wang family is one of the 5 major clans and has an ancestral magic. I need to get that magic to have a chance to get a career. Oops, the timing is wrong, it jumped 2 chapters and ran out without being published. Please ignore the 3 in the title.